Hi, Ram.
Hello, Prasmathus. Good morning, everyone. We'll just start in another 1 or 2 minutes. Good morning, everyone. And on behalf of Avan Intellect, I have great pleasure in welcoming you. Before I go to the webinar topic and introduce the speaker, let me just briefly introduce Avan Intellect. My name is Ramkumar Subramanian, and I am the Chief Operating Officer of Avan Intellect. Avan Intellect is a learning and training organization, which is a startup, and we have a team of dedicated and experienced professionals who are in logistics, supply chain management, as well as training. We have the experience spans a total of more than 200 years. And that's what makes us very unique. We are also we have basically two business verticals. One is the academic outsourcing and corporate training, where we curate and customize courses varying from few weeks to 2 years. The other business vertical is graduate assessment and placement program with an acronym GAP, where we offer placement assistance with aided by psychometric testing, soft skills training, interview training, resume building, and domain training. For more details, you can visit our website www.avanintellect.com. So the topic of today's webinar is logistics, careers in logistics and supply chain management. The speaker is Captain Yogesh Kundra, who is a pioneer in the field of logistics and an industry veteran. He has very varied experience spanning almost 42 years. He has a graduate degree in engineering, followed by a stint in the army, and has held senior assignments in the manufacturing sector in companies, reputed concerns like India Cement and Dalmia Bharat, as well as being an operating and business heads in reputed logistics service providers like Gati, TCI, and Reliance Logistics. So Captain Yogesh Kundra has his interest ranges from supply chain management to ODC cargo, which is over dimension cargo, fleet management, vendor management, and the entire gamut of transportation. He has taken up this assignment where he has used the experience to develop the business of education and training in logistics. As you can see, his varied experience, as well as in both manufacturing and services, make him very eminently suitable to address this topic on careers in logistics and supply chain, which will be useful not only for students, but also for experienced logistics professionals. So without further ado, I introduce Captain Yogesh to take up the podium and address the gathering. Thank you.
Thank you, Ram, for your kind introduction. And it's a pleasure to be amongst you all. Jai Hind, ladies and gentlemen. First, before I start, am I audible to everyone?
The volume can be slightly more, but you're audible definitely.
I will try to increase it more. I'm on the peak of my volume.
Yeah, okay. I think my volume was slightly on the lower side.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope it's audible. Professor Matthews, is it audible to you?
Yeah. But somebody is making a comment, very low voice, cannot hear, from Rajesh.
Oh, okay. Rajesh Chaudhary.
Yeah. Friends, like Ram said, logistics as a career has been very passionate to me. Not that I came to this industry by design, it was by default. And maybe in our era, in early 80s and late 70s, uh, logistics as a career was never considered as a good option. I still recall those days, whenever anyone who was not so contributory in the organization, he said, put him into the transportation department. That was the trend when probably when we joined the industry, and maybe that time getting qualified engineers to join was one of the rare instances, which suddenly over a period of years it has changed. So I may be more passionate, and please do not take it that I'm favoring the whole thing, but I still feel that we have come a long way and we have a great career in logistics and supply chain for across all kinds of professional and attributes we have amongst us. My presentation would take you through the following flow. I will give you an overall view of what is LSCM and what has been the past and present, and what are the various possibilities exist in LSCM, and how skill development and learning has become a great opportunity. And that's where, like Ram mentioned, that Gati Academy and Aman Intellect is today in, because we realize that there is a huge gap of skilled workforce at all levels. And this is required if we really have to match our standards to the global level in logistics supply chain. And lastly, I will broadly cover what we are doing in areas of logistics supply chain, skill development. Friends, supply chain industry in India is about 20 lakh crores, which is about 7% of the India's GDP by end of 2023. It is growing at 12% CAGR since last 6 years and employs 2.2 crore people in the industry and is having a potential to add about 30 lakhs job annually. I read one of the documents that today 5% of India's workforce works in the logistics supply chain industry. Today we are ranked as 39 out of 139 countries in the World Bank Logistics Performance Index. And the importance is so much as the need of hour that the government of India has formulated in national logistics policy. It has taken more than 3 years to formulate and roll out the policy, which purely sets an agenda to foster and develop a complete logistics ecosystem in the country, which will make our country aligned with the global supply chains and also achieving our goal of Atmanirbhar and also being a world place for manufacturing. Broadly, the national logistics policy has been formulated to provide accelerated inclusive growth to the industry, which is technology enabled, that's got world-class infrastructure with seamless processes, integrating and becoming very cost efficient, resilient, sustainable, and trusted ecosystem. We have been hearing this in the media from last almost year and a half after the pandemic, that how global supply chains got affected and how it is essential to have an alternate supply chain which is more resilient, sustainable, and robust, which can give an alternate to the Chinese industry. And the whole objectives of the NHB is focused on integration, optimization, standardization, modernization, formalization, and democratization, with a clear objective that our today's GDP cost is 14%, which should be brought down to 7.5 to 8% by 2030. Our World Bank Logistics Performance Index should be amongst top 25 and moving up from 38 position as of now. The complete supply chain should be data-driven support system mechanism and for an efficient logistic ecosystem. That's what is the vision of the government as a framework to the national logistics policy. And I'm very sure that we are moving towards this. The industry is moving towards this. The government approach is moving towards this approach policy. Let's quickly look at what has been the past when probably I joined the industry and what is happening today. Past, it was very low skill, and today very high skills are required. Today you have the best in class minds working in all kinds of, I would say, engineering, scientific, data analytics, software engineers, and operating managers working in supply chain industry. Earlier, it was just taken as one of those last resort. If nothing is that, let's get into transportation. But today, it is one of those sought after career opportunities in the industry. Of course, it was never taken as a glamorous this thing, but today it is certainly considered as a very important aspect of business, and well read that it is well written as it is worth its weight in gold. Compensation wise, it is now comparable to the industry. Career progression, yes, it is very progressive. It gives high contribution, and certainly supply chain professional is a niche in the industry, which was non-entity earlier. Earlier, logistics supply chain probably was amongst the heavy, I would say, brick and mortar industries like oil and gas, petrochemicals, aerospace, defense, engineering, etc. And today it has got migrated to new age industries, which is e-commerce. And we have those new startups like Amazon, Flipkart, Swiggy's, Zomato's, Big Baskets. They're all tech-driven supply chain models, aggregator platforms, which are giving the best-in-class services with reliability and convenience. How does a standard brick and mortar supply chain looks like? You have a supplier, you have a raw material provider. The factory produces the finished goods, it moves to the DC, it moves to the regional distribution center and to the retailer and then to the customer. Very straight line. It had one-way flow of material, cash flow working the reverse side, and information flow happening on the both sides. This was a standard traditional supply chain model for a brick and mortar industry. And how the e-commerce reshaped this. Sorry. We have an e-commerce seller who has empaneled suppliers. He does demand planning, he does supply planning, and he has built the entire framework for order management, where the customer is just placing an order online and the supplier provides the material, supplies it directly to the retailer, DC, or through an intermediary warehouse. And then the last mile takes over and delivers. And the beauty is that the whole platform is transparent and visible. A customer who has booked an order can see every step of the operation happening. And it is not only the customer, every stakeholder involved has a complete digital transformation of the entire flow of information, flow of goods visible to everyone. And that is today's e-com logistics supply chain. Let's see how the supply chain has evolved. We started off traditionally as 1PL, it is in-house manufacturer having his own distribution center where productions are factory produces, goes to the warehouse, and from warehouse it goes to the receiver or to the end customer, and it is everything controlled in-house. So it was always called 1PL. Then we had the involvement of 2PLs and 3PLs, where logistics is outsourced and is fulfilled by professionals, third-party logistics service providers. The logistics performance relies on vertical collaboration between shipper, the 3PL service provider, and the receiver. The model evolved, and we had 4PLs, which does horizontal cross-chain collaboration to share resources, co-define logistics plans, co-design networks to manually improve logistic performance for multiple players in the chain. And lastly, what we today see is a very open, intelligent network, which is smart, agile, and is able to collect and analyze real-time information to make real-time decision, resource planning, product recall. How the whole LSTM has evolved. Early, when we were part of the industry, when we joined the industry, it was all fragmented. Everything was in a department which is given below, like demand, sourcing, requirement, production, manufacturing, warehousing, etc. Later on, it got consolidated into two parts, which is called as materials management and physical distribution, which later got involved, which got integrated and became a logistics function, which was basically involved in inward or outward movement of material at the right place at the right time at the right price was a key definition, and an integrated approach to all aspects of material handling, transportation, warehousing was taken under logistics. This further got evolved into supply chain, where information technology, marketing, sales, strategic planning, finance, production, everything got integrated to the supply chain. Any factor which is having a external control or external impact, it automatically allows you to optimize all other parameters to make the supply chain more efficient. And today, we are moving towards the same supply chains getting completely automated. So, having gone through the supply chain landscape, what are the career opportunities as a functional domain? These are all, I would say, domain expertise which are still valid, like procurement, pure logistics, like transportation, warehousing, outsourcing. Supply chain it comes into inventory, demand, focus, planning, and analytics, which is digitization of warehouse management system, digitization of TM transport management system, control tower management, network optimization, etc. So if you go back and see how, as we as professional, our career will be formulated or formed in the supply chain logistics, or a youngster who completes his basic education, it can be at the entry level as 12th standard pass, where probably he starts his reading as a blue-collared entry level, which has got functions like, operating in warehouses like packer, picker, warehousing, inventory, or as a transportation support clerk. or as a graduate, you get into as a manufacturing organization, support logistics function, inventory planning. In services, you support warehousing, transportation, and be a part of the solution team to see that uh, whatever is booked is delivered, and there, if there are issues, you have a solution to address those issues, data analytics and business development. So first 5 years, we are into very basics of each function, which gets in, grown up into as a manager position, where in a manufacturing you function as a supply chain head, functional head, and at the services organization you are a branch head, or at the site where operations are happening, or you're a key accounts person. And when about 10 years, you become a functional head at a mid-senior level position, or a profit center head, or a supply chain function. And lastly, it is you get into business, because logistics supply chain is one career or one function which gives you interconnection with every aspects of business, whether it is marketing, whether it is finance, whether it is production, whether it is uh, customer management. So with that integrated approach, they certainly have a leverage to be the CEO or a functional head of an organization. And this is the way traditionally or conventionally how the career of a logistics supply chain professional is moving up his career, right from his entry level till he becomes the head of the organization. And today we have board positions also in supply chain for large organizations. Other great thing which logistics offers in career is by diversity in the functional knowledge. One has road logistics, we have sea logistics, rail logistics, multimodal transportation, air logistics, pipeline liquid, logistics infrastructure, and also becoming a 3PL, 4PL, and 5PL logistics service providers. So one can step into any of these roles and then become an expert specialist in that particular area and become a super specialist in that function, or you can have a cross-functional specialization where you have complete understanding of the entire end-to-end logistics, when it is linked to transportation, can be by road, sea, or rail, or warehousing and distribution. So logistics is the key function part of national economy. And like I said, 5% of the workforce is contributed by the logistics supply chain industry. Once considered truck and sheds and the local scale industry, logistics and supply chain management today is emerging as a highly desirable sector for employment, providing exciting high-tech career. A very general outlook how a logistics function works. We have order processing, we have inventory management, we have cargo handling, transportation, packaging, warehousing. They all get integrated and become an end-to-end function of a logistics. Now, having said this, the key point was what are the opportunities we have in our logistics skill development and learning. It is understood that I read in a research paper globally and also more valid in India, that more than 35% there is a shortage of skilled workforce in our industry, both at the managerial level and at the supervisory level. The kind of transformation which is happening with the induction of new technology, new approaches like you have artificial intelligence coming in, or your machine learning, you have data analytics. All this are an integral part of an efficient supply chain. So there are existing workforce has very limited exposure to this new era of technology which is coming in. So there's a huge opportunity for creating skill workforce both in the domain side and on the technology side. Government of India has a independent Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, which under its flagship of NSDC, they have 37 sector skill councils. And logistics is one of the sector skill council where this is promoted by NSDC, National Skill Development Corporation, in collaboration with the CII. And LSC main focus is to connect with all the industries in supply chain, the need of skilling required, what kind of job roles are required, what kind of skills are to be required, what type of training is required. They build and develop course framework for those various job roles. Sector Skill Council has about 12 subsectors given here on the screen, which includes warehousing, land transportation, cold chain solutions, courier and mail services, e-commerce, port terminals, inland container depots, air cargo handling, freight forwarding, marine services, supply chain solutions, liquid logistics, and rail logistics. And under each subsector, the Sector Skill Council has got number of job roles identified, which is in alignment with the industry. And for these job roles, there is a structured framework developed, and various projects have been initiated under different programs. Like, we have under NSDC called PMKVY, Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana. We have RPL, recognized for prior learning. Then we have DDU-GKY, which is under Ministry of Rural Development, called Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushal Yojana. These are various programs which the government is offering to the deserving entry-level candidates, basically coming from the rural background and also from the below the poverty line. So the government or the NSDC has got accredited training partners, and training partners are specialized in taking up training in any of those job roles which has been defined here. And they set up the training centers as per the common minimum norms which has been prescribed. And they mobilize people, these candidates or youth, basically 12th standard and graduates from the rural background, and they are skilled, and then we connect them to the industry for their job placements. So this is one major opportunity which is available for the youth, especially from the rural background, to join these programs and get an assured placement. And then you have your career profile built up to take up higher levels, because at every level there is a intervention of skill development happening. Now, broadly, if you look, what are the potential job roles which we can see in logistics and supply chain? It starts with the freight agent, supply chain manager, warehouse logistics manager, transportation manager, transportation analyst, logistics engineer, inventory manager, procurement manager, customer service representative, logistics consultant, international logistics manager, freight forwarder, logistician, operation manager. And the new age logistics is today looking for skill career opportunities as in blockchain technology, which is for shipment tracking, for smart billing and loading, smart contracts, transport management systems, artificial intelligence for uh, enabling seamless uh, operations happening with minimum human intervention, robots and automation, big data, cloud logistics, and self-driving vehicles, which we already are seeing various trials are being conducted on this. So to sum up, the common courses in logistics supply chain at the beginner level is for logistics for beginners, supply chain operations, analytics, procurement, international business operations, logistics transportation, ocean shipping, supply chain, logistics and supply chain, fundamentals of logistics and supply chain. At intermediate level, it is the same functions are given with more inputs, which is operations and logistics, warehouse management and logistics management, global logistics, international logistics, business logistics and supply chain management, SAP for the entire end-to-end automation in logistics. And in the advanced stage, you have blockchain in supply chain, executive program in global supply chain, fundamentals of end-to-end supply chain management, container shipping logistics and supply chain management, operation management, supply chain, Six Sigma, comprehensive supply chain network design course. There are various courses available for the professionals to upgrade their knowledge and get specialized into different domain expertise, which we call it. And as we acquire more knowledge and experience, we keep moving up and the tree becomes narrow position in supply chain management. What is Gati Academy and Aman Intellect offering today? Gati Intellect or Gati Academy is focusing on undertaking government projects, which I explained you like PMKY and DDGKY, where currently we have 3 skill development centers operational with a mandate to skill about 1,000 candidates inducted into supply chain profession or logistic profession in supply chain. And the courses what we are offering are packer, picker, warehouse supervisor, transportation supervisor, etc. And these children are all are inducted or mobilized from BPL families which are in the rural India. And after they are skilled, we have connected them with various industries like e-com, logistics, retail, and they are placed under at various suitable job roles as based on the thing we've carried out. Avan Intellect, we offer programs for graduates and professional MBAs under the program called GAP, where we offer, we enroll the candidates, we undertake online psychometric analysis to understand the strength of the each candidate and what kind of a job role he fits into it. And based on that, he is given a domain intervention online, and then we facilitate the individual for a placement assistant in the industry. We also have collaboration with few business schools where we offer LSCM courses, which is about 200 to 300 hours in 1 year or 2 years time. We offer courses in agri logistics, aviation and data cargo, e-commerce, land transportation, and logistics management. These are all programs which we have initially started with online, which are getting upgraded as self-paced learning. And now on need-based, we also offer hybrid learning where partly we offer learning as online and as well as we do on-site learning also with the in collaboration with the institutes or in the industry. Gentlemen, this is what I have to offer or share my thoughts on various opportunities we have in career as a logistics supply chain professional, how we evolved. I would be very happy to take any questions from the audience. Thank you so much.
Yeah, the floor is open for questions. Please go ahead with the questions.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, myself, Sheikh Karim.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. Please go ahead.
Sir, my name is Sheikh Karim. I'm
Yes.
recently graduated in my mechanical stream, but I am looking for logistics and supply chain management, sir. Like after pursuing my masters in logistics and supply chain management, can I get a good job, or we need to take 1 year experience and we need to pursue masters? Can you suggest?
Yes, of course, it's a great decision for your interest to be taking up a career in logistics supply chain. You will and you can get a good job opportunity. There are various ways which you can enter in the supply chain field. One way is that generally the industry, as a thumb rule, about 10 to 15% of their intake is the fresh graduates, either they're professionals or they're non-professional graduates, and they join the organization as an apprenticeship or they join as a trainee, and they get an online training, and then they get absorbed on a regular job function. So then you have an organic growth in the organization as part of logistics supply chain career. The second option is that while after your studies or during your education, there are certain additional courses available on logistics supply chain, which can be in a different domain expertise. You could do it in warehousing, you can do it in transportation, you can do in drones, you can do in rail logistics. And once you get this certification course done along with your professional course, then you have an additional weightage over a non-professional graduate to get a direct placement with the industry. Gati Intellect certainly has options for both the areas to facilitate fresh graduates to take up careers in logistics supply chain, and we would be very happy to assist you in that.
Oh, thank you, sir. Sir, what about SAP module, sir? Like, if we learn SAP module, we can get the job, placement in easy manner, or?
Yes. See, SAP is one of the technology tool which some of the industries are adopting. It is not necessary that every company is having SAP. So normally SAP, if you see, are large organizations having very complex supply chains. They have SAP, and then there are some specialized institutes who are offering training on SAP. So that is one route, but I would recommend that you join an organization, and when you join an organization, you can demonstrate your interest to learn SAP if they have SAP as their TMS, and the industry will train you for that. Otherwise, if you go on your own, the courses are very expensive to learn. So you have both options. You can directly take a course in SAP and then join, but then your options of joining in logistics supply chain is very limited to those companies who have SAP as their software platform to operate on.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Most welcome.
Sir, at last, I want to ask one. Uh, I have completed my mechanical BTech, sir.
Yeah.
Is there, shall I pursue masters at a time, or shall I take a gap and shall I pursue?
My personal recommendation is that you should join an organization, take up a job, and take up additional learning while you're on the job. So,
Okay.
just doing an academic and with no field experience or professional experience will again will not be very supportive to you. But while you're working, you're actually whatever you're learning through your academics or through your certified courses are also being seen and felt or experienced by you on practice when you're working in your job.
Okay, sir.
Sorry, any more questions?
Gentlemen, thank you very much for your kind participation and your time. I enjoyed sharing my thoughts.
Thank you
Which-
very much to all of you. And as I said, you can be in touch with the website and you have interactive forms. In case you have questions, we can definitely help you.